Hello and welcome back to Couch Critics, where Dave and I sit and talk about movies and television, of course. I'm your co-host Josh, as always, alongside
Me, David Joseph, or Dave, if you want to be
DJ
informal.
David.
It's like the
David Joseph.
Usted, or I want the formal
Dave, how are you
Usted
doing,
version
buddy?
in this. And I'm good, man. It's been a couple of busy weeks. I'm sure you've had the same thing.
Oh yeah,
The Super
right,
Bowl is not coming up tomorrow,
right.
so that's not
It
going to
is
be fun.
not.
But you ever watch it in those, like The Simpsons and stuff? Famously, would do Super Bowl episodes, but
Mhm.
they didn't know who was going to win or who would be playing in the game when they animated it, so they would have to have them cover their mouths. Like, I can't believe the game against the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yes.
I feel like that would be fun to do. But anyways, I digress, as I like to say. But
as
things have been
as we
good.
digress. No,
How
oh,
about
man,
yourself,
you're
man?
right though. It is a busy time of year. Got a lot going.
Yeah, this
We are
is
not coming. We are
March.
not in the midst of our rush to watch anything Oscar nominated, though
Nope.
I am. But yeah, so I didn't
The
actually watch.
Oscars,
I didn't
are
really
they
watch
over
anything else.
now?
Yes,
The
they are
Oscars
over now.
over now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, they were 9 days ago.
9
They were
days
nine.
ago.
They were
Okay.
9 days ago at
Obviously they
this
were.
route.
Yeah, we definitely watched
Yeah, definitely watched.
it.
Maybe talked about already. I don't know.
See,
Anyway,
we're talking to our future selves, I guess is what
we
it
are.
is, which is
We
an
are.
amazing feat. It shouldn't fit in our
Yes.
time travel episode.
They say you can't time travel, but we do it every week. We
Every single
travel
week.
time
Now, if only I
every
could
week.
talk back to myself, I'd be
Right.
like, buy stock in
Yeah.
this and bet on this
It's the
game.
back in time that's rough.
Yeah, as that
Oh,
song says.
anyways, so Dave, with the busy week, have you been able to watch anything new?
I actually have. I want to mention a couple of things. One, on a recent episode, which I guess would be a few weeks ago now, I didn't know they were making a whole bunch of Beatles biopics.
Mhm.
Sam Mendes, by the way,
Yep.
is doing them, and
Yeah,
so I
great
did a little bit
director,
of
yeah.
digging. Yeah, I did a little digging. I like Sam Mendes a lot, and I did a little digging on him, and like he was a stage director, and comes straight out of the thing and does American Beauty, right? Which I remember that from back in the day. Like, this thing is, it's incredible. Who's this guy and all those things? But he's taking, he's making 4 separate movies,
Yeah.
right? One focused on
Essentially
each
doing them
one of the.
simultaneously.
Yeah, but he would have to, or else
Right.
they would. I don't know how
Aged,
you
yeah.
would have they interact and all those kind of things. Like, so, anyways, you mentioned that was the first I've heard of it, and so now I'm super excited. I think that'd be amazing. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
think
mean?
it's an
Like,
awesome idea.
yeah, I like him regardless. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine he's gonna do the best with it. But I also happen to see, because I'm always watching new trailers. I try to check stuff out. Some are worth noting, but I want to get your take on So The Devil Wears Prada 2. They've been teasing it for like 6 months, and I think there's a little bit more of a trailer out now. All the same people are back, which is fantastic.
Love that. Yeah.
But I really liked the first one, surprisingly a lot. Like, the only thing I didn't care as much about the love story, and I get that's the heart of the movie, but it wasn't
Right.
my favorite part,
Yeah.
But I
I
think it's gonna be great.
I'm a
What do you?
and we love Meryl Streep. She's even in a bad movie, she
Who?
still
Who's
elevates.
this?
Meryl
I don't know.
Streep.
Never
I
never heard
Martin
of her.
Short's girlfriend.
You mean Michelle Pfeiffer? Oh, okay, got it. I do know
Martin
her.
Short's
Yeah, yeah,
girlfriend.
yeah.
Uh,
Sure, sure.
yeah, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna run to the theater for it, but I'll watch it when it comes out, when
Yeah,
it hits streaming.
yeah.
I
It'll
hope they
probably stream
maintain
within a
that.
week.
Right, I hope they maintain that sort of, that the bite to it, the witty, like, I don't know, the mean girl energy that Meryl
Yeah,
Streep has in the original. I
this
hope they
the
carry that story.
snarky, all those things.
Yeah, yeah,
But based on the trailer, it looks like they're
yeah,
staying true to form, which I think
and
is great.
I'm sure they
And
will. But yeah,
anything with
I'll
Stanley
watch it.
Tucci too. By the way,
I
I watch Who's That Girl because Stanley Tucci is
'cause
apparently in it.
well,
And even though
yeah,
I sat through
yeah,
that whole piece of garbage, I'm sorry, that movie, I still
Lost that
didn't even
girl.
see him. I didn't. He was somewhere in the dock scene. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I watched the whole movie for that, and I didn't get to see it. But I did get to see Madonna overacting and being
Ugh.
terrible. But anyways, I watched a handful of movies. I watched a lot of pre-code stuff this week.
I Yeah, I got
Fi-
one. I did watch
I,
one.
So here's my real problem. I find myself drawn to pre-code, and for a while I was on a run of pretty much all of them worth watching, all of them good in some way or another. Fast, short, you can say whatever you want, but squeezing a lot into an hour and 5 minutes. But I watched, I don't know, 4 or 5 in a row that
Yeah,
I didn't like, that were, it
really?
was hard to get through them. I was bored, or
Oh,
the acting was terrible, you know,
well, I hope
I
it
don't
was
know.
I hope
Which is
you're
a
not talking
shame.
about the one I watched.
No, but I did watch a movie that I think you mentioned that you liked, and Amy and I watched it. And sometimes this goes back to where if you're in the right headspace or the wrong headspace. And I might
Yeah.
not have been in the right headspace, but
You
I
didn't like
watched
Elmer the
Elmer the
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't, and I think it's fine. It's okay. It has moments, I suppose, but I do like Frank McHugh a lot. He's the guy with that laugh, where it's, ha ha ha. But anyways, I Joe Brown is a character actor from, or an actor from back then, and he was so insanely distracting with his either ridiculous character he's playing, his
Yeah.
inability to act, or what his direction was. I don't know. I don't have
Yeah.
enough frame of reference to know how he normally is, but I don't
Right.
know. It wasn't my
I
movie.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fair. I liked it because of just the incongruity of Joey Brown, because he doesn't act like an athlete. He doesn't talk like
Yeah.
an like that,
Yeah.
but somehow he is that. I like that juxtaposition. Worked
It's
for
the
me.
Happy Gilmore thing, right? Isn't that basically the same
No, yeah,
basic general idea for Happy Gilmore?
sure.
He doesn't act
Yes.
like a golfer, but he's really
But
great
yeah,
at it.
yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
yeah, absolutely.
But to each their own. I just don't know enough Joey Brown. And again, right headspace sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It
was
does
kind of
change a
tired. It
lot.
was late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get
But
it.
anyways, I watched a handful of movies. By the way, I'm a huge King Vidor fan. He was a
Yes.
director, silent era director, did The Crowd, Show People, which is very hard to find, but I love it. The Big Parade, which is one of the better silent movies ever made. All these movies are great. So I find myself trying to watch all of his movies, and I watched two. One is an important film. It's from 1929. It's called Hallelujah. It was his first sound film. And he took his first sound film in 1929, 2 years after the industry had switched completely, and he made a musical with an entirely black cast. There isn't a white actor in the
Uh,
movie at any point. It's an all black cast. Now,
mhm.
Mel and I had started this movie. I don't know, a month ago. And to be completely honest, it's hard at the beginning because you're watching, they're sharecroppers.
Mhm.
And so they are very happy slave y. Does that make sense? Even though there's
Yeah,
not
no, I get what
slavery
yeah,
at this
for
time,
sure.
but they're very, the way they talk,
But
all this stuff, it is
yeah.
off putting. They dance like I was bordered on offensive, and that
Oh.
didn't border, it felt offensive.
Mhm.
And I watched it and I was like, I don't understand like why. And so, I'm doing some research. I'm trying to find a way I can connect with the material and make it past that. So it took about a month, and Amy and I revisited the whole thing. And that material doesn't get any better, but I think it was made with the right intentions. I think that for him, he was one of the bigger directors at the time to make a movie with an entirely black cast, and a musical for his first sound picture. I think was brave. I think there are a lot of stereotypes that are used in it, but not the ones that you think of, like the less insatiable. I think it was almost like a response to Birth of a Nation kind of thing. But I think in taking there, I cannot remember. Like, if I had the ability, I would post a fantastic review that summed up how it was important to be made. it was made with the right intentions, but it's probably done way more harm than good. Yada yada yada. And it was a beautifully written interview on review on IMDb. Now, all that being said, I liked the movie. Once you got past the uncomfortableness of watching happy-go-lucky,
Oh, yeah.
poor black folks in the fields picking cotton, mind you. That's
Of
what they do. They
course.
pick cotton. Once you get past that, and the way they talk and everything else, uh, it you can connect with some of the material a little bit better. He becomes a
Yeah.
preacher.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of elements of it that are actually pretty solid. Some decent performances, some terrible performances, but I get why King Vidor. I see what I think he was trying to do. I just think it doesn't play very well now. But I do
Yeah.
recommend it to people who are
Mhm.
curious about those other things. But by the way, I did watch one more King Vidor movie, which
Okay.
again, I watch all of them. And he made I think right after Hallelujah or shortly after, he made Billy the Kid, which is the story of Billy the Kid,
It's on my
right? Have you
watch
seen
list.
this?
It's in my
Don't
watch list. I was wanting to watch
don't
it.
watch it. Don't watch it. I mean, you might like it. Let me put it this way. What if you wanted to see something about Billy the Kid, if you were going to watch a biopic or anything else, what would you want to see? Do you want to see the upbringing, the outlaw Billy the Kid? Do you want to see this, not salacious material, but those things? Or do you want to see him as a John Wayne type good guy trying to help damsels in distress in a town
Oh,
against a
no,
cattle
yeah.
baron?
All right.
It
So
didn't fit. I don't
there's
even know if the
no
stories are true. I don't even know. I think I think it's fictionalized off of true content, I think,
yeah.
but
But
it's
framing him
sugar.
as a true hero rather than
Oh,
like, because
I
I
mean
know
a
in the real
moral, yeah.
story of Billy the Kid, he started off with the group that he was with, the Regulators. They really were on a mission of good, that he goes bad. Like, he does it the wrong way.
I'd rather
But
see
he's
that
in no
than
way a
this.
hero.
And again, I don't know the Billy the Kid story, but it seemed like it was either right before, I'm sure before, but it's before he turned anything. He like didn't swear, wouldn't kiss a girl unless they were married, like stuff that just didn't
Oh, wow.
doesn't
They
click
didn't.
in your
Right.
brain. And I'm like,
And
this is it's so boring to me.
what's weird about that is this movie is what, 19, 28, 29, 30, somewhere in there.
Yeah. 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 I think it's 30. Yeah.
There were people alive that knew Billy the Kid, the real Billy
Completely.
the Kid, when this movie
Yeah.
came out.
Yep.
Like, a living humans that saw this movie and they're like, that didn't happen.
Yeah. It
That's
doesn't
yeah.
even have any like I wonder in my head because the concept of doing one for them, one for myself, one for them,
Yeah,
one for
sure.
myself, and it's highly possible that he was required to do some movies after
Sure.
if he makes Hallelujah, which again I think was made in all the most earnest and right idea. I think the intent was all there. And I think that he achieves it in a broad scale, but I think the minutia of it, I mean, he brought in dialogue, people who wrote the dialogue stuff had never written before. They were black Southern sharecroppers who wrote all this dialogue. So I guess it's fully natural, but it's kind of like every movie from before 1950, every train has porters that are black.
Yes.
Every single train, every train scene, there's a black porter.
Mhm.
Everyone.
Always.
And it makes me uncomfortable because I'm like, oh my God, it's just they're in a white tuxedo. A lot of times
Yes.
they're always scared by things and their eyes get really big and bulgy. And I'm like, this is such
Yeah, you
terrible
mentioned that,
material.
which is one of the things that I really liked about the portrayal in, Support Your Local Gunfighter. In the beginning, the portrayal of the porters in there, like, instead of wide-eyed scared, these are jovial, happy people and
Yeah.
functioning and the head porter keeps taking all the tips away from his underlings.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
much nicer feel about it rather than the skittish, "Yes, sir. No, sir,"
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
thing that we
The
got back then.
normal
Yeah.
master situation that you have.
Yes.
But
Yes.
representation makes a big difference, and we know that from the lack of Asians in films and television in America for so
Yeah,
long.
for
Like
so
I think I
still.
watched a little thing on Hattie McDaniel, famously, which by the way, her brother, which I didn't know was also an actor, but they look very similar. I don't mean that in a
Oh, yeah?
racist way, but they look very similar. You do know her brother. He plays a porter in 1,000 movies.
Oh,
He's also
really?
in Hallelujah. But anyways, Hattie
Oh,
McDaniel, famously from Gone with the Wind, she was in like 200 movies and she played a maid in like 98% of them. But a sassy maid, like all those things. Like, sure, it's a cliche now, but I think early black rights groups and stuff were giving her a hard time all the time, saying, why would she have to play a maid? Why'd she have to play? And I think her famous line was, I'd rather play a maid than be one.
yeah,
Anyways.
for sure.
And she got an Oscar
Yeah.
for it. She got an
She got an
Oscar
Oscar
for,
for it
she's the
and had to
first
sit
African
with
American to,
and couldn't even really be
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So, I didn't watch this recently, but Hallelujah, you made me think of this another movie that I did watch many times in the past, from 1940, early 40s, 42, 43, something like that, directed by Vincent Minnelli, called
Okay.
Cabin in the Sky.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I do
Cabin
know
in
the
the
movie.
Cabin in the
That's
Sky
they,
it's another one of those all black
yeah.
cast, but this one
A lot of
is
watermelon and fried chicken in that, if I remember correctly.
yeah, but it shows that even in black culture, there are all types of people. There's the degenerate gambler, there's the honest wife, there's the preacher, there's
Yeah.
a multitude of people, and you get, uh, what's his name? Satchmo, Louis Armstrong playing, one of the devil's demons, which is hilarious. Like, it's
Yeah.
great. I love I love
It's
Cabin in the Sky,
crunchy,
but
but it's crunchy for the
oh,
same
yeah.
reason that Hallelujah is crunchy. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, you're
sure.
not in blackface, and I think there's some bit of trivia that when King Vidor proposed Hallelujah, the studio wanted him to just have all white actors in
In
blackface, and he
blackface. Yeah.
refused. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, you say it's commendable to do that because that is
Yeah.
how stupid
Especially
studio.
in 1929, 1928, probably when they're filming it.
Yeah, it wasn't even abnormal. Like, it
Mhm.
was a par for the course, which
Right.
is just
Well, yeah. Well,
see,
because
I don't know.
minstrel
Those are
shows
hard.
were doing it everywhere, right? Like, it
Yeah,
was still a
yeah.
thing in the vaudeville circuit. It was normal. Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
go
wild.
straight from that really quick to talk about two movies, and then I'll let you take over. Also, I also watched Thomas Schultz, director, right? Thomas Schultz. Yeah, Thomas Schultz was on TCM, and they showed so far. He's on again, I think tomorrow. But anyways, they showed Cooley High, which I love. Cooley
Yep.
High. I grew up.
Young Richard Pryor.
Yeah, it's such a an iconic. It's basically Fast Times and American Graffiti, just with black kids, and I think black director, it was black cast
Super
and stuff, and
funny.
yeah, it's really good. And then uh Grease Lightning, which I had seen before. I've seen them
I have
both
not seen
before.
Grease Lightning. I've seen Cooley High. I've not seen Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning's really good. It's funny how they deal with race because the whole thing is about Wendell Scott, I think his name is, who was the first uh, African American race car driver allowed in NASCAR and to race, especially in the South with the good old
Oh,
boys.
oh yeah.
And the hard time that he was given. He was a bootlegger, like they mostly all were, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. It's pretty good. Richard Pryor's doing some great acting. His wife, his love interest in the movie, and his wife, and all those things throughout the entire movie is Pam Grier, and she's so amazing. I think they started
Oh,
dating because of this movie. They
love.
met and dated on this movie, and then
Really?
I think his drugs got in the way, and then she left
Yeah,
him.
sure.
Um,
As
I
they
think
do.
I think she I think there's actually a weird story. I think she left him, but I think it was because he went off and got married, like on a whim. Somebody he met and married her, even though he was with Pam Grier, but he was super loaded up on drugs all the time. So,
Yes, yeah,
anyways,
he was.
but she is so good in this. She's gorgeous. She's such a good actress. Everybody's performances in this were really, really good. But yeah, anyways, I liked it a lot. Beau Bridges is in it. Um, there always has to be the white savior, but he doesn't
But yeah,
quite play the white savior. But anyways, it's a fascinating story
yeah.
of the
Grease
first
Lightning,
black
I'll have to
race
check
car
it out.
driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a good watch. It's a history piece, all those kind of things. I don't know. Anyways, but Cooley High, which Amy had never seen. So even though I just watched it, I'm going to watch it again with her tonight,
Yeah.
because it's such an amazing movie that the Thomas Schultz was talking about. He's the guy who directed it, and all these things. He directed a ton of movies. He's a fantastic black director, or just director. But I guess when they finished Cooley High, they were shopping around or whatever, and the studio's like, well, we don't even know how to sell this movie. And they're like, this isn't, because exploitation movies were the thing at the time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, we don't know how to sell. And he goes, I don't know, just sell it as a good movie. Like, it's PG.
Like, right?
Is that your problem? Your problem is it's not exploitation and it's PG. Like,
Yeah.
that's nuts. He goes, just sell it as a really good movie. And they did, and it was a big
Right.
success, you know,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
rightfully so.
As it should be. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Because I thought I'd go from Hallelujah to Thomas Schultz and Cooley.
Thomas Schultz. I love it. So I'm going to go the other way. No, there is no other way to go with that. No, first thing I want to bring up that I watched, because it's the new show that Jennifer, my wife, and I are watching. It's this, it's an NBC show. It's on Peacock, called Ponies.
Oh God, how is it?
Persons of No Interest. It's actually really, really, the first 2 episodes are really good. Really, really
Yeah?
good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it a
I
lot.
saw the trailer. I saw a commercial for it. It looked
I
cute.
like
It looked
Amelia
good.
Clarke a lot. I think she's a really good actress. I don't know her from Game of Thrones. I know her from
She was the
other
pilot,
shows.
right? Who got lost over the Atlantic. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Amelia Earhart.
Not in this movie. Or this show. No, but her and Haley Lou Richardson, they're 2 polar opposites. Haley Lou Richardson, the show starts, they are the wives of CIA agents in Moscow. Their husbands are out on a mission and end up dead.
Okay.
Through whatever. Amelia Clarke's character is this highly educated, very smart woman, and she wants to find out why her husband died, because it's kind of mysterious. Haley Lou Richardson is just this she's never really had a home, and she got married to this guy because he was there and he was a way to get out of wherever she was, and now they're dead. And then the CIA ends up choosing these 2 women because they would be categorized by the KGB as persons of no interest.
Right.
So
They can get past security really simply.
Yeah,
Those kind of things.
And it's really well done. Their odd couple style relationship is funny. I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited to keep watching it. But yeah, I definitely recommend giving it a watch. It's a lot of fun. It's equal parts funny and dramatic, and just enough of the political intrigue right off the very beginning, because it takes place in the 70s. And who was the head of this? If you know history, George Herbert Walker Bush was the head of the CIA at the time. So he makes an appearance in deciding whether these girls should get the job.
The actual George Sr.?
From the grave, rose up, and
I thought it'd be like CGI or AI or something, you know?
No, but
or Dana Carvey doing it.
That's who they should have done, is Dana Carvey. No, but it's very well done. It's rooted in reality in that way. So yeah, I enjoyed it. And then
those
because I watched
Cold War story, those Cold War stories are fun anyways. I like the show Man from U.N.C.L.E. My father was a big fan. I watched it a lot when I was a kid. I watched the one with the cannibal. What's the cannibal's name? The guy who eats people. The Zuckerberg guy, the Winklevoss twins. Anyways.
Yes, I know.
The reboot, the Guy Ritchie Man from U.N.C.L.E. I watched it. Not only Guy Ritchie's good, so it comes out, it's entertaining and fun to watch, but that Cold War era stuff is fun, and we have a new one coming up, and that's going to be awesome.
And that's where the whole Bourne Identity, that all came about as Cold War. They were Cold War novels by Robert Ludlum. James Bond is very much a Cold War hero. That stuff. Jimmy Bond.
Jimmy. He's at the store, right? He works
the guy
at the shop
at the corner store.
Local. There you go.
But then so started watching Ponies. I'm enjoying it so far. 2 episodes in. But then I watched, this is no particular order here. I went all the way back to 1933, got me a little pre-code gem starring the great Joan Blondell,
What was
directed
that?
by Michael Curtiz, called Goodbye Again.
I saw that too.
I really like this
I
one. It had the
I did
rapid
too.
fire banter. It has the loose morals and those kind of things. So this one was definitely, this is the prototypical pre-code movie.
Yeah.
This is what we're looking
Yeah.
for. It's like an hour and 7 minutes or something, real quick,
Yep.
double entendres everywhere. And Joan Blondell is, or was, one of the funniest, most
Yeah.
beautiful actresses of the day.
So entertaining to
She could
watch.
hold her
And she's
own
this
with, yeah, she held her own in gangster movies with Jimmy Cagney, was able to
yeah.
come up and do
Yep.
these romantic comedies like this. She's just fantastic. Like you mentioned with King Vidor, if I see Joan Blondell's in it, I'm gonna watch it because she is just
Yeah.
a lot of fun. She's got that
And
fast talking personality. It's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, she's really solid, big old eyes. She has again in the Footlight Parade. What's the Gold Diggers 1933 has the
Yep.
Forgotten Man song, I think is what it is.
Mhm. Yep.
Like I think about there's a part of it at the end where she's singing and the cops in the stage play what they're doing, harassing some homeless guy or whatever, and he has a medal, like a Purple Heart on the inside of his
Yep.
jacket, and just the
Yep.
look that she gives the cop is the
Yeah.
most amazing.
Yeah.
Fuck
Mm.
you,
Right.
this is wrong, shame on you. All those things are conveyed in this look that I think about a lot. She's
Yeah.
so fantastic. I
She's,
love Joan
yeah,
Blondell.
she's worth the price of admission on everything I've seen of her so far.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
and then I jumped forward a little bit into some Cold War paranoia, actually. I watched 1953's Invaders from Mars. Just,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
just one of those, either it's on TCM all the
Huh?
time. So
Yeah.
like every couple of months
It's a
it's
very
on.
green movie. Like they
Yeah.
did the two-tone color thing, right?
Yes.
Like they
Yeah. So
so everything
it's
looks
that
kind of green.
green, yes, but it is very much that Red Scare, but through the eyes of a child, so it's aliens, and it's just, it's William Cameron Menzies is the director. It's colorful, it's bright, but it's just very, very cultish, like cult classic-y. It is
I
so
would say
good,
it's
and I,
colorful. I would say there is some color,
but no, I
but
mean, it's colorful
it
in that,
works with it. Yeah,
I mean, it's colorful in that it's bright.
yeah,
It is a
yeah. That's true.
bright movie, because a lot of movies will use darkness to portray to give you scares and mood. Invaders from Mars is, a lot of it is in the daytime, so
Right.
there's, yeah. So that's what I mean by colorful. It's bright. Bright is a
I
better
got it.
word.
That's
Um,
like giving you a hard time.
yeah, that's, no, it's true. Call me out on my garbage. But it is very, it's a lot of fun. It's just, this is one of those movies that on a cold Sunday, you just sit back and you lay in bed or lay on the couch and watch it. I have a good
Yeah,
time.
it is a good watch. It's fun. It moves pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. Uh,
It's you. There's it has that low budget sci-fi feel,
mhm.
but it comes off better than that. Kind of like
Yes.
them. Them also has
Them
that
is one of my
like
all-time favorites. Yeah.
this is low budget sci-fi, but there's still something about it. Like it's almost like they knew they were doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is not an accident. They're not trying to play a Nine from Outer Space. This
That
whole thing.
that little
You know what I mean?
girl, the little girl,
Yeah.
when she, yeah, when she goes from catatonic to screaming, she was
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, I really
She
like,
was
yeah,
great.
Them is a great one.
I don't even know who that actress is, but
Neither
anyways,
do
yeah,
I, but she was
them's
amazing in that movie.
right.
And
Yeah, by the way,
oh, yeah. No, by the way, what?
we both watched that little the Marx Brothers
Yeah.
biography
Well,
piece I sent you
yeah.
because I did not know that. I guess Animal Crackers was made in 1930, and
Mhm.
then because of the Hays Code, they chopped about a minute and a half of jokes
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Then re-released in 36 with those jokes gone. And then the rights and everything else had disappeared till like the late 70s,
Yeah.
mid 70s. And
Yeah.
then a whole bunch of people get involved and try to get it back out there and stuff, which I don't
including
think I've
including Groucho
yeah,
himself.
including Groucho, an 80-some-year-old Groucho. Which also it was they gave a little background on them, how they came up.
Yeah.
I did not know they had an older brother who died.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. Mhm.
I don't I
Yeah,
didn't the mom was a musician, which is why she forced them all to learn
music.
instruments. You
Yeah.
know,
Shout out to the
how they got
channel.
their
It's
names.
the history guy.
Yeah.
The history guy. It's
Yeah.
it's it's wonderful. It's like 18 minutes, but it really gives you the 5,000-foot
Nuts and
view
bolts.
of everything
Yeah.
about more than we even knew, and we're fans of the Marx
Yeah.
Brothers. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That there's a doc with Leslie Nielsen narrating that came out years ago, and I
Mhm.
remember watching that. And I don't know. Sometimes you watch a documentary or something, and then you think it's amazing. Here's a great example: the History Channel had a series on called "The Presidents." And each episode, this hour-long episode, they would focus on 3 presidents, and they would break it down. And it was so well done. It was just I loved it. I bought it on DVD because it was not easy to find, and then I tried to watch it like 15 years ago, and it's so slow paced. It seems so old
Oh,
school that
yeah.
it doesn't hold up. There's the TCM had that show Moguls and Movie Stars, which was
Yes.
one of my favorite. It was one of the reasons I knew I had to revisit classic films. It was one of the very first things that told me I don't know enough about some of this stuff to call myself a cinema fan. So about 20 years ago, I started actually gearing towards,
Diving
now
into
I
it.
make a list, we're doing a show, all those things. But anyways, Moguls and Movie Stars, loved it. And it was hard to find this DVD set. And I have it.
Mhm.
And then it's starting to feel dated, even though it's just 20 something years old now.
Right.
But anyways,
Yeah.
this Leslie Nielsen one has a lot of decent information and stuff, but
Mhm.
it felt, I don't know, it felt faded. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
anyways, that's
Absolutely.
disappointing. All the
Yeah.
more reason we need a really good Marx
A
Brothers
good
biopic.
biopic would be I would love it. Yeah, but so I was trying to think, I couldn't think of one, but what would the older brother that, what was his name?
I don't know. But I like how they all got their names. I like that. I did not know that Harpo changed his name from Adolf. There are
I
these
so
young Jewish kids, but
I knew his name was Adolf. I did not know that he changed his name. I knew
I knew him
Adolf.
as Arthur because everything I've seen is
So
listed as Arthur.
so if you ever go to, I went to Wikipedia and was looking them up, so I knew it was
Mm.
Adolf, but to me, he's just Harpo, right? Uh,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you can always tell a true fan of the Marx Brothers by how they pronounce Chico's
Chico.
name. Is it
Yeah.
Chico or is it Chico? It's Chico because he
Yeah.
gets the
It's
chicks.
definitely Chico. Yeah.
It's definitely Chico,
He's
so you can tell.
a
Yeah,
skirt chaser.
he's a
And
skirt
there are some
chaser.
fantastic bits about how offensive Chico could be at times
Yeah,
to
yeah,
women, like the
right.
princess of Wales. Like there's a story about how they were all worried how he would treat her when they met her because she was coming over to visit America or whatever, and they're like, tell him she's a formal lady, she's proper, don't say, like, they're telling him this for hours before, and the very first thing he
Yeah,
does is go up and say, hey, he goes, nice to meet you, want a buck? Like, it's what he says to her. Apparently, like, everybody just fell to the floor. But
yeah.
anyway,
That's
that's
yeah. And
part of my language.
I love how the names came about. Harpo for Adolf/Arthur, Harpo because he was an amazing harpist, and
Hmm.
Chico because he was a skirt chaser. Like, I love how the names came about.
And
And then
then
the brother Gummo.
Groucho, yeah, and then Groucho, which I didn't, they're saying in at least this doc I watched, because I've always heard it was because he was kind of a stuffy guy or whatever. He was always mean to people and snarky, but that there was if people who carried their money in a Groucho
In
bag,
a
right, or a
grouch
grouch
yeah,
bag, in
grouch
a
bag.
grouch bag around their necks, if they were hiding their money instead of their pocket because of pickpockets, and they would call that a
Yeah,
grouch bag, I guess. So that was his
yeah,
reason. But I
that was
like
me.
Zeppo.
Yeah,
Bo, there's two different stories. There's one that it was something else, and then the other one that this guy says is there are stories that it was a famous dancing monkey or a monkey. And I thought
yeah,
that is 100% the name they stuck him with because of a monkey. They're making fun of their littlest brother and calling him
yeah,
Zeppo,
yeah.
named after a monkey. But anyways, all
and
6 people out there who care about the Marx Brothers,
and I love
you
that
know,
I
that is
love that
good.
they actually in an 18-minute bio, they gave proper attention to Milton or Gummo, the kind of forgotten Marx Brothers, the Marx Brother that fans knew about, but he left to go World War One,
Fight the
right?
war.
He left to go fight in the Great
Mhm.
War. But yeah,
Mhm.
and then he does go into that they had the older brother, which was yeah, I didn't know that there was another one above
I didn't
Gummo.
know when it died when they were
Yeah,
tuberculosis or something like
yeah,
that. But anyways, it's a good little
and that
doc. It's on YouTube. That's why I
it
watched it.
is the
So I don't
history
know.
guy. Check him out. And with that, that brings me to the last movie that I really watched this week, and it's one we've talked about on this show before, but I felt it was apropos for today's episode. I watched Throw Mama from the
Okay.
Train from 1987.
Oh,
Danny
love the
DeVito,
movie.
Anne Ramsey in her Oscar-nominated role as Mama, Billy Crystal. It's just for me, it's just a lot of fun. I enjoyed a lot. It's, the first time that I remember the name Barry Sonnenfeld because he was the
Yeah.
DP on this movie,
Yeah.
and you can definitely see his camera work, but the reason I chose this is not because of Danny DeVito, who we love, or Billy Crystal, or Alfred Hitchcock homage, but Rob Reiner plays Billy Crystal's literary agent.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to watch something that I hadn't seen in a while that somehow involved the great Rob Reiner.
It's a
So this is
such
what
a
won.
good movie. I mean, everybody, it's iconic to my childhood.
Yes.
I can always tell when something was iconic to my childhood, especially a film if I remember the commercials or the trailers. Like,
Yes.
I remember the trailer for Beetlejuice. I remember every scene. I
Mhm.
could watch Beetlejuice and say, "That was in the trailer. That was in
Yeah.
the commercial."
Mhm.
All those kind of things.
Yeah, the
And
Anne Ramsey
say
huffing through the train with her
yeah,
weird breathy thing that she does. I remember
yeah.
that, like,
Him hitting him
vivid.
with the frying pan
Yeah.
saying, "You lied to me." Like,
You
all that
like
stuff was in the
in the trailer.
yeah, 100% I remember from the commercials. But anyways, yeah, Rob Reiner, we ended last week because I think we talked 13th Warrior and how I'm not
13,
a
yeah,
huge sword and sorcery kind of person,
right.
but I do have always loved The Princess Bride, which we talked about briefly. But Rob Reiner, first of all, we've
Mhm.
lost Rob Reiner this year, which is so sad. I do not want to talk about that
No, you
because
wanna highlight the
it's
positive.
entirely too depressing. But his career, sure, he's a nepo baby, but
Mhm.
so often these people who come from stock don't produce anything all that like to his level. That doesn't happen very often. Like, his dad creates an entire new form of television in the industry and then follows it up with some of the most iconic movies of the 70s and 80s, like some fantastic stuff,
Absolutely.
brilliant. And then Rob Reiner starts as an actor and then works his way through. Like, in doing a little research, like, it's funny to see the old pictures of Rob Reiner from like the 1960s. He looks totally different, like still the
Yeah,
same. Like, you can still see
yeah,
it, but you're like,
right.
oh, he was kind of a younger, handsome guy. Like,
Yeah, he was,
I
yeah.
think I understand. He wasn't. I just picture the bald Rob Reiner that I know. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
a huge, important person in the film industry, and had, in my opinion, a run unprecedented of a string
Yeah.
of movies that, at least to me, matter
Mm.
so much.
Yeah, I would
You know what
say
I mean?
9 of his first 10 movies are, to some degree, classics at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk about the 10th movie as well because we have to, but we'll get there. But yeah, Rob Reiner he's one of those directors that we talk about it with Danny Boyle a lot, that could do any
Anything.
genre and could do it well
But I
and
don't
would
know
do it
if he
right.
knew that. I don't honestly know if he knew that in interviews that I've
No.
seen.
Yeah, no.
I think he was taking each project on like, I think I can do this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But like,
yeah, where
Danny Boyle feels
right.
like there's an intention. Like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna make a
I'm a
swashbuckler movie. I'm gonna make
yeah.
a drug movie. I'm gonna make a zombie movie.
No, you're absolutely right. It does feel much more intentional with Danny Boyle. Rob Reiner, it's like he fell in love with something and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that. This is the story.
Yeah.
I need to tell this story." And if that means that we're doing the first mockumentary, like the first, it's not the first, but it's the first. And this is Spinal Tap. Like,
it's the
it's the
form.
prototype.
You yeah, you could say Albert Brooks doing, what do you call it? Real life? You can say Albert Brooks doing real life. There's also a fake documentary that could have, and that's 79,
Right.
but nothing like this. This was
No.
creating an entire, if real life had created, I don't even know, a fake family. I guess it was a
Yeah.
fake family. They're not. It's not Charles Grodin's. Not really. It's not really his
Not
family,
really,
and that's not
but
his
it
real
could
name.
be.
Forget it. Forget I said any of that. But anyways, if Spinal Tap, which I also didn't know that there was a short film that this had basically been based on, that was like 3 years before this, that something they did for either
Really?
SNL or something else.
Oh,
Yeah, that
yeah.
that that was where the first, and there
Now
are
you
scenes from this little 15-minute short they did that were redone almost verbatim for This Is Spinal Tap, which came out in 84. But I don't know. I think This Is Spinal Tap was affordable as a project of finance. I don't think it
yeah.
was crazy expensive. I think it was smart. And I think that's fortunately why he got a chance to do it. Because I can't imagine the studio being like, yeah, let's see it.
Yeah.
Give
There
it a
wasn't
shot.
a
Who
lot
are,
to lose.
yeah. So anyways, again, This Is Spinal Tap is fantastic. I have still not seen the newest one. Have you?
I haven't yet. It's
The
on HBO Max, so I intend to watch it, but I just haven't yet. It dropped way too close to the tragedy, and I just wasn't ready to deal with
Yeah.
that. Um, so
What's it called?
there's
The
that,
End
but
Continues.
yeah,
Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, which
yeah,
is a hilarious title. Anyways, so he makes that, and it was 84. I was young. I saw it when I was a kid. I don't think I understood any of it really, like to the point I do now. I didn't know they were faking. And when I saw it when I
yeah,
must have seen it when I was 8 or something.
right.
I didn't
No,
know
me
they
neither.
were, it was all pretend, like,
Because they really played the instruments, they really sing, and they really
yeah.
released an album. Like, the album, you
Yeah.
could go down to the store and buy, like, for me, it was Kmart back in the day. You could go to the music section at Kmart and buy the Spinal Tap albums. Like, it
Right.
was real, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it all felt real. It reminds me of a quote. Ozzy Osbourne was asked about This Is Spinal Tap, and he said, "I saw it in the theater when it first came out. Everybody around me was laughing, and I wasn't. I was the only one watching." He said, "Because everything that happened was real. That's what it was
Right.
like on,
It
like,
felt
when you're on
authentic.
tour." He was like, "It was horror to me because that's
Yeah.
really what I experienced, like, mistakes and things that were messed up and people not understanding and
Getting lost
getting
backstage
getting
and
lost backstage because you turned the wrong way."
your roadies setting up the wrong props and setting up the
Yes.
wrong things, or you
Yeah.
getting trapped in some sort of a set piece on the stage. Whoever gets trapped
Right.
in the
And I
anyways,
love that, and I love it when Stonehenge comes out and it's that tall. Like,
it's so funny.
it's great.
It's
But
so
This
funny.
Is
And
Spinal
this
Tap
huge
is,
cameo list. Yeah.
oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's like,
important.
it's just all it's a bunch of friends who got together and acted silly,
And
and it
trust each other.
works, and it works.
The fun thing, if you watch it, is because they're ad-libbing or improvising most, if not all, of their dialogue. And there are some scenes where you'll have 2 or 3 of the band members at a time,
Mhm.
and every so often they're covering their mouths, and it's because they're laughing at what the other person just said,
Yes.
or in a couple of cases, Michael McKean laughing at what he's saying. He says
His own
something that he
jokes.
knows is funny, so he has to kind of like cover his mouth with a cup or something and act like he's taking a drink. But anyways, great movie. Let me ask you a question. I'm a huge John Cusack fan, and in the next film he did was The Sure Thing, right?
Yes.
John
Mhm.
Cusack, and is that Daphne Zuniga?
Niga or whatever, Anthony Edwards, yeah.
The worst part of Spaceballs, which I again say is a pretty bad movie to me, but
Yeah.
she's one of my least favorite parts of that. The Sure Thing, I saw it as a kid.
Mhm.
I don't think I've seen it in at least 10 or 15 years,
Yeah, it's
20 or
I
30
I
years.
don't
How
remember
old
the
am I?
last time I
Yeah,
watched
I
it,
haven't seen
but I
I
love
said 10 years.
it's a
Since I
road
was a
trip
kid. I was
movie.
a kid 10 years ago. It is
It's
a
a
road
road
trip
trip
movie.
movie. It is a
It
road
is a
trip
road trip
movie.
movie. And I
Um,
remember it. I remember all the
yeah.
plot points. I
Oh, yeah.
remember all the basics of it.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, I still remember it being a lot of fun. This is John Cusack is at the height of his
It's
like
right in the beginning.
nerd
Yeah.
charm. Like I don't nerd charm isn't the right thing, but he's like the unlikely ladies man. He's the guy who you don't expect to get the girl, but he gets the girl.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's so well. And then
He
and
doesn't make hamburgers, doesn't play saxophone yet.
no, it doesn't
None of
have
those
any
things.
of the
Not yet.
over the top Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer stuff. It doesn't have any of that, but
He
it's just
skis. Every time he skis, he's on 2 skis,
he's
you
on
know.
2 skis. Yeah,
But anyways,
I
the
wrote a
sure
note on
thing
here,
I
sparks and snowstorms.
um but the uh I I didn't know the movie. I don't remember it well enough, but I know I
Yeah.
liked it as a kid. I know that it's
Mhm.
an iconic movie. But the
Yeah.
one behind that is one of the most important movies to my childhood.
Yes.
And there are several, but Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Also John
Um,
Cusack's in that.
he is as Will Wheaton's, older brother in the flashbacks. Yeah. Good
Do you
call.
think that it was Rob Reiner the there's something in that that gave that movie such a heart, so much heart. Do you know what I mean? It's not just a nostalgia piece because
You're
other
right.
people were doing that, but there's something in there that has this emotional core heart
Um,
element. And do you think
so
that's Rob Reiner's influence?
I absolutely it's a combination of 2 things. It's Rob Reiner for sure, and it's River Phoenix.
Yeah.
River Phoenix brings so I've been for about the last 6, 7 months, something like that. I've been writing an episode for the original show, Real Talk. I every once in a while I'll do an episode that I call The Stars, and I've been writing one about River Phoenix. They take me a
Okay.
long time because they're super emotional and they're dark. I did one on Bobby Driscoll, who we talked about a couple weeks ago, and I did
Hmm.
one on Judith Barcy, who was the young girl who did like the voice of Ducky in Land Before Time, who was murdered by her father. So I've been writing one on River Phoenix, and man,
Have you
and
done
it
one on
just
Garrett Graham yet?
no, because he's alive.
No.
There's no tragedy.
Oh, I get it. It has to be
This
tragic.
is just a these are all like people that were taken too soon and for whatever reason. But that being said, River Phoenix, I think there's something about him because he plays kind of the leader of the group of boys. Will Wheaton is the center of the story,
Sure.
um, but River
But
Phoenix is the
he's not
leader of the
the
group.
yeah, completely.
Yeah,
They're
and
all gonna follow him. It's
yeah,
definitely not Jerry O'Connell.
they're not following Jerry or Corey. But
No.
no, River Phoenix has had this ability, even at whatever 15 years old when he was doing this,
Yeah.
to be kind of like the tough kid, but at the same time, when he starts telling the story about how people
There's
perceive
damage
him and his
there.
family, and he starts to cry, he
Yeah.
had something that, yeah,
He projects damage and
yes,
pain,
so
and he
well.
does that in all of his stuff. His brother does the same.
Walking,
In
yeah,
in Parenthood,
oh yeah,
um,
yeah,
is this layered
absolutely,
performance that's seriously overlooked as far as a young kid acting,
yes, for
because he
sure,
gives this performance of all of these things at once, and really it's just pain, and he sells it
yeah,
that way. You know what I mean?
hmm
You read it
yeah,
as creepy and disturbed and all these things, but then over time of watching Parenthood, you see, yeah,
yeah,
this kid's hurt and
yeah.
doesn't know what to do with these
No,
feelings and all this kind of stuff.
absolutely. And I love that in Parenthood, it's actually a role of Keanu Reeves, who is River Phoenix's best friend in life, that
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves is actually decent in Parenthood. I like
yeah.
him as Martha Plimpton's,
Has anybody seen My
boyfriend.
Wife? Right? Anyways, silly movie,
Anyways,
silly movie.
that being yeah, Stand By Me holds up to this day. Was filmed and it was filmed 2 hours from where we were in high school, um, before we were in high school, but it was just Cottage Grove, Oregon. It was filmed not far
Oh,
from us.
I don't know
Um,
if I knew that. Oh,
yeah, so it was. That's where
but
it takes
it
place.
makes sense because our
Mhm.
my childhood it looked like if you went 10 minutes or 20 minutes outside of any place I grew up, it looked a little bit like that, you
No,
know,
so
like a
it
lot of those, especially on those coastal towns and stuff. Yeah,
when you stepped out of where Dave and I grew up, at least around high school and whatnot, you stepped outside and it was like stepping into the movie Rad because you had the lumber
Yeah.
yard, the lumber mills. So we ride our BMX on the lumber. We didn't, but we could have.
Lori
And
Loughlin was always hanging
Lori
around
Loughlin
there.
was
It was
always
weird.
there. And you went about 20 minutes away and
Talking about her
suddenly it
kid
was
getting into
Stand By
college.
Me. It was Stand By
Yeah.
Me. But yeah, Stand By Me
Um,
is so the first two movies, This Is Spinal Tap, funniest movies of all time. Sure Thing is a really good road movie, but Stand By Me was or
heart.
is
There's
it yeah,
something, it's memorable because it made you feel something,
yeah. I mean,
you
it's
know?
it's so famous that the fictitious town of Castle Rock that it takes place in became the name of Rob Reiner's production studio.
Yeah, his production company, I mean, for God's sakes, they did Seinfeld. You know, they had no shortage of major heavy
No.
projects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, following Stand By Me in 1987, one of the movies that had the greatest impact on me,
Yes.
and it's one of the movies I know verbatim. We've talked about it several times. You don't need
Yeah.
to go into it
Oh,
too much,
yeah.
but it's The Princess Bride.
Yep.
It's kind of what got us here, but it's
Mhm.
also what, once I realized, pay attention to directors and people behind the camera,
Yes.
and who was making these products, not just the stars in the front. Like, it was one of the first movies I remember finding, like, oh, well, who made this movie? Because I loved it.
Yeah.
And I still, as a kid,
Yeah.
I just remember I worked in video for a long time, and I would always make sure I had extra copies of Princess Bride for sale on VHS and later DVD, because I could easily play it because it's PG on the
Mhm.
TVs in these stores.
In the store.
And then
Yep.
every time I did that, if we were out of rental copies, which I usually
Someone
made
would
sure
buy
we
it.
only had a couple, somebody would buy it and I could, get a couple of sales, and people would get to see the movie that they
Yeah.
all kind of
Yeah.
were forgetting about, it felt like.
Yeah. And I think and to your question on Stand By Me, I think Princess Bride shows that a lot of that heart does start with Rob Reiner. He was able to bring that or get that out of like, Andre the Giant was not known as an actor, but he gives a performance that is perfect for the situation and in that movie and works so well with everyone around it. You mentioned this the swashbuckling, the sword fighting. Carrie Elwes and Mandy Patinkin look like legit fencers. Like they know what
He
they're doing.
he said they both spent 6 or 8 months training,
Yeah.
and they trained both of them with both hands.
Yeah. So all of
That
it's
he
real.
said that both Carrie Elways and
Mandy
his
Patinkin.
names escape me, Mandy Patinkin, uh, literally were training constantly for months and months and months and months and months, and again to do it with both hands, which is something they would never use on another movie again.
Never
It's
again.
so
No.
unlikely. They would
Right.
use it, learning on one hand, maybe it's a trait you could take and say, well, I can demand more money on my next movie because I'm remaking something, but like that would never come up again to use
No.
both hands. That's not
No.
a normal
Of
thing. It
course
fits
not.
that story. But anyways,
Yeah.
great movie. I love it so much. And anybody who hasn't seen it, what's wrong with you? You
Watch
definitely
it.
need to watch it.
Watch it.
It's
Stop what
phenomenal.
you're doing
I
and
mean,
watch it.
Peter Falk, yeah. But anyways, love it. He followed that up with When Harry Met Sally, which I was 10 years old, I think, when it came out. I don't remember if I saw it then. I know it was around then. I don't know if
Yeah.
I understood it like I do now. Like
I was a
now I
little bit
understand it.
older,
I
but
didn't then.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
But yeah, I know I understood the general idea, but like I didn't.
right.
Billy Crystal has so many subtle jokes that you have to be a wise enough and old enough person to
Yeah.
get to pick up on
Yeah.
what he's
Oh,
throwing
yeah.
down.
Absolutely. And When Harry Met Sally, as I've gotten older, it is one of the few true rom-coms that I think is just as good to the male viewer as it is to the female viewer. So often the rom-com
100%.
is directed towards the woman. When Harry Met Sally is absolutely geared towards people. If you've
Yeah.
ever been a human with your own failings and your own desires, this speaks much more to you than most of them.
I
And
think
I
the
think
best movies can give you
Mhm.
both sides of that same story. I still say John Requa and Glenn
Glenn
Ficarra
Ficarra.
in
Yeah.
doing What's the one they did with Ryan
Focus?
Gosling?
No, not Focus.
No, the love story they did. Steve Carell and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not Strange. Crazy Stupid Love.
Crazy Stupid Love. There is a beautiful sense of two different voices, a male and a female voice, that are told at equal,
Yes.
emphasis. And I think movies like Pillow Talk in the
Hmm.
60s and stuff, I
Yeah.
think they knew that. They
Hmm.
knew not to be Hallmark where it's only speaking with one voice, that
One
they
voice.
could, they could give some more to it. And I don't know. I think that perfectly encapsulates what Rob Reiner was able to accomplish and
And
what Harry
real
Met Sally.
quick,
Besides, performances are great. Go ahead.
little side tangent. Crazy Stupid Love. Is Emma Stone the current Meryl Streep? Is she
Yeah.
like she is so freaking good
Hoo- hoo-
in just about
Hooked
everything.
up with Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably.
No,
I think
shit.
she's well on her way.
Yeah. I mean, we'll
She's
see what
phenomenal
happens.
and
She's
everything. And
already got two. She's already won 2 Oscars.
I've always hated this notion where I don't hate it because I'm not an actor, but I always thought it was silly that people say something like they're so brave. You know what I mean? Like the movie that the Jack Nicholson and anyways, but they'll say an actor's brave for doing one thing or another, and like the only time it makes sense is I see The Favorite and I see Poor Things and all those things. I think she's brave.
Yeah.
She is brave to take a
Mhm.
leap and
Yeah.
trust this director. And I haven't seen Begonia yet. I will watch it
Yes.
maybe this weekend. You
Fantastic.
have, I imagine she's just as brave in that. You know what I mean? Like that's where the term actually works. Like you're brave to trust the people on your
She
crew
lets
and
them
the
shave her
creators behind
head
the
on
material.
camera.
Wow,
Beautiful woman and
that's
shaves
crazy.
her head in the movie on camera.
Yeah.
Like, how big is that? Like, these are like as just a grown man, I don't wanna shave my head for anything. Like, I'll keep it short, but
Nah,
I ain't
too many. I have a bunch of sixes up here. I don't need everybody seeing that.
I don't need you seeing
Um,
those tattoos. But that brings us to do we wanna talk about
yeah,
his
yeah. Well,
venture into
so
horror?
Misery was who's in Misery?
James Caan
Kate,
and Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. God dang, I couldn't think of her name. That when I was talking about the brave comment, I was thinking about Schmidt with her and Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson, and
that's
they both have a nude scene, and everybody's
yeah,
like, they're so brave, and sure, I
yeah,
guess, but
yeah,
I think Emma Stone is brave. I think
yes.
that's trusting the creator for the
Be walking
entire
around
project
for hours at a time on a set naked for Poor
naked
Things.
or looking silly, looking however, having your head shaved. And
All
you're
those
not doing that in one scene like Jack Nicholson and Kathy
multiple
Bates. You're doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks
weeks
on
on
end,
end.
just going around
Yeah.
trusting this person, this crew, like they're gonna have my best interest. They're not gonna try to make this isn't gonna be a joke.
Yes,
Right. So, anyways,
absolutely.
Kathy Bates obviously burst onto the scene uh in early work like Fried Green Tomatoes. She's in that, right?
Yep, she's Fried Green Tomatoes. Yep, she's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think where the first thing I know her from. But anyways, Misery,
Probably
she
that. Yeah.
steals that movie.
Yes.
Absolutely
So good.
just takes this fantastic movie. It was one of the first times I remember really paying attention to James Caan. But
Mhm.
it was 1990. I
Yeah,
probably was I think I saw it when it came out. Right? I
yeah.
was
I was
12 or
probably
something like that.
11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I had read the book because
But
it's a it
yeah,
was a shorter Stephen King. So I started it was
right.
one of the first Stephen Kings I read because I always started short and went long later.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Misery is so and then Misery linking up talking about uh Princess Bride, William Goldman wrote Misery also.
Yeah.
He adapted the Stephen King book for this,
The
and it's
the
his
book for
second
it.
and Rob Reiner's second Stephen King adaptation, just
Yeah,
as
he
good
really liked it.
as his other.
He was He was, I think, best at taking somebody else's material and
Yes.
making it the best it could be. And everything that every project he worked on, like I don't think there are people who could have done the same thing. Getting to a couple of the next projects, the wonderful writer Aaron Sorkin,
Yeah. Aaron
um,
Sorkin. Yeah.
fantastic writer. maybe a little bit too long-winded. Nobody talks like
Sometimes,
that.
yes.
Nobody
Right.
really talks in the way they do in an Aaron Sorkin play, but that's okay because that's his style. But anyways, so A Few Good Men. I saw this in the theater. I was
Mhm.
14, and so I
Yep.
was just old enough where I understood what I was
Mhm.
watching. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
understood the powerful and commanding performances. Amy's never seen it, which is
Oh.
a shame.
Yeah.
I would have watched it before this if I had known that, but um, it's so insanely good.
Yeah. Yeah. It is
Again, taking somebody
wonderful.
else's material and pulling the meat out of it and
Mhm.
pulling the best out of it.
Yeah. So back in December when the tragedy happened, Kevin Bacon posted something on social media that I saw. It was a video, just him kind of talking about remembering Rob Reiner. And in this movie, the studio did not want Kevin Bacon. They didn't think he looked the part. They didn't think he wasn't old enough. He wasn't like, he didn't fit. They did not want him.
Yeah.
But Rob Reiner
They didn't
saw
want to.
some,
They didn't want to pay his salary, really,
well,
and
no,
they were
because
thinking of Footloose, and they didn't
yeah,
listen to the Mel episode where we talked about Footloose yet.
they didn't hear it. But, Rob Reiner wanted Kevin Bacon, wouldn't budge on it, and fought for Kevin Bacon to get it. So Kevin Bacon was just like, "I owe the next phase of my career to Rob Reiner." Because without that, he's doing what? Footloose 2? I mean, where does
Yeah,
he go?
I still
Um,
think though, it's all set in Guantanamo or whatever, right? And I still think the whole dance sequence through the hangar that he had Kevin Bacon
it's a little
do,
too
it's in
much.
the deleted scenes.
Little too
It's,
much.
it's in deleted, where they have the jets outside playing rock music, and
Yeah.
he's fist pumping his way
It's
through
a little
the,
too
the
much.
airplane hangar. Anyways, I'm sorry,
But
but
yeah,
I loved A Few Good Men.
yeah.
It was one of the it's one of those movies I remember seeing that I remember thinking, "Oh, this is what adults watch." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was
No,
14, but
it's
I was still watching Terminator 2 was still my favorite movie.
yeah.
For
Well,
Christ's
and
sake,
when A
you
Few
know,
Good Men came
like
out, I didn't make this connection till much later because I didn't see the other movie, but A Few Good Men is our generation's, 12 Angry Men. It's
yeah,
very
yeah,
simple location, it's happening in one spot, and it's all this emotion, and it's
legal
built up
drama.
the legal
Yeah,
drama in and equally wonderful performances and direction, tension built through conversation. Like, it's such a good movie. It's
I
very
would wager to say, in my opinion, they're better performances than A Few Good Men, and that's saying a tremendous amount
yes,
because 12 Angry Men
is
is
top to bottom a fantastic cast.
stacked, absolutely
Yes,
stacked with some of the best performances
fantastic.
ever. But
Yeah.
I think so's A Few Good Men.
Yeah,
Quotable as
I don't
hell
wanna
too.
talk too much about the next movie on his list because I think it was a
Come
misstep,
on, let's talk
but
about
we're
North.
gonna talk about North. North was written
I
by Alan Zweibel. He actually wrote the book that it's based on. I will give this
what was
movie
Elijah
credit. Go ahead.
what was Elijah Wood doing before this? Like he was already a
The
name.
Good
I'm trying to think.
Son
Okay.
with
But he was
The
in
Good Son with
something. What was
Macaulay
his breakout?
Culkin, uh, Back to the Future 2,
I can't remember. No.
Radio Flyer. Radio Flyer, I think
Forget it.
was his
But
big
anyways,
it had to be Radio
I
Flyer,
knew
right?
of him, and so maybe. But there was something that he was associated with, like at this point in his career, which God love him, man. For him to be fortunate enough to become in the Lord of the Rings movies must have been a fantastic thing. But anyways, um, so uh, I didn't see North. I've never seen the whole thing ever, but I've seen most of it. And I didn't absolutely hate it. I just was indifferent to it. I think it was on in
Yeah,
some situation where I was half paying attention to it.
yeah.
You don't like it, and
I
I don't
do
think you're alone. I think most people don't like it. Is it
yeah.
Bruce Willis, you think?
No,
Because that's
it's
what I've heard. People say Bruce Willis
I mean, Bruce
is
Willis
pretty
is
bad
so
because he's
he's
trying to
not
play silly,
yes, he's not
and Bruce
great.
Willis doesn't
I
play
mean,
silly.
the
Yeah.
idea so it's playing off the idea because in the mid-90s or early 90s, there were famously a few kids were suing their parents for, emancipation. It was kind of a hot button issue. So this is the funny version of that. But the it's very incongruous. Nothing flows very well
Yeah.
together. It's
like Getting
fun
Even
to
with Dad came out around the same time.
yeah.
What there were a
Mhm.
handful of
There are
movies
yes.
where the kids were getting the what was House Arrest came out
Yeah,
in
that's
1996,
a couple years
right?
later, yeah.
Kevin Pollak, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jennifer Love Big Tits,
Yeah,
Jennifer Love Hewitt,
Hewitt.
all those people.
Mhm.
But anyways, like
Fantastic.
there was that theme of like, kids getting back at their parents for whatever nonsense they were upset about, which was, I guess, technically our generation.
It was.
It was supposed to be us revolting against our parents.
It
Like, how
was,
dare you
yeah.
pay for food and board for me, you
For
bastards?
me,
You make
it
me
just
clean my room. I'm mad about it.
none of the families really like, none of the stories, it's very sketch comedy setup going from
Mm,
one family to another. Each family
I remember
is
that.
quirky in
I
its
remember
own
that.
way. I think that it is worth watching just to see the sheer number of '90s celebrity cameos that show up in
Yeah.
throughout the movie because everybody was in it. Nobody knew it was gonna bomb the way it did, and it's also very famous for a very young Scarlett Johansson appearance,
Oh,
very
okay.
young ScarJo. But no, I don't like it. It's, but it's an early, Seinfeld thing where Jason Alexander and Julia Louis-Dreyfus are both in it. So
Oh, yeah.
during the off season of Seinfeld, they went and did this movie. I'm amazed either of them got a career after that.
It's probably that's what part of the reason they call it the Seinfeld curse for a long time, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Up
yeah.
until Veep came out, and then they're like,
Right.
"Oh,
Julia
well, we can't say that
Louis-Dreyfus,
anymore."
but
Broke the
yeah,
curse, if you will,
Jason
like the
Alexander
Bambino,
and Cosmo Kramer, Michael
right?
Richards haven't really run into anything. But
But the
then
next
he
movie
followed that
I
up with
do
a great
love.
movie.
I absolutely love this movie. I did not see it for
Yes.
years. Um, but again, another Aaron Sorkin masterpiece. And
Yes.
this is pre West Wing, right?
It is by almost 10 years, yeah.
In 1995, he made The American
The
President,
American President.
which I still, to this day, there are lines I think about and quote just with the state of politics. We don't go into all that, but where I think it's powerful, and I think it's the greatest version of what this country could be. And I think it was Rob Reiner putting his own ideas out there. Same with Aaron Sorkin.
Mhm. Yes.
It's really well done. It feels very organic. It's got some phenomenal performances. It's got
Mhm.
Annette Bening, Michael Douglas,
Marty Sheen from West
Mart
Wing.
yeah, Martin Sheen,
Everybody's
some of
favorite,
the
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox, Dan Bacadel, is he in it, or am I thinking of Veep now?
Yeah, I think you're moving
I'm
on.
thinking of Veep,
I think you're moving
but
on.
but anyways, whoever played the senators and the people who are on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Richard Dreyfuss,
Yeah.
because Richard Dreyfuss and Rob Reiner grew up. They were best friends growing up.
Yeah.
They went to the same high school,
Buddies.
which is
Yeah.
also very funny. But then if you go to super Hollywood high school with
Right.
all the other celebrity kids and stuff,
Yeah.
then
You're bound to be friends with celebrity kids.
yeah, it's the same reason that Jason Bateman probably had a gay affair with Leif Garrett. But
I
anyways,
hope they
which
did.
and he'll tell you all about it. They took a lot of cocaine fueled road trips. But anyways, that's his story to tell, not mine. But I love The American President.
Yeah, it's a
It's one of the movies that I'll stop on if I'm flipping.
mhm.
You don't have cable, but if I'm flipping around the channels and it's
Yeah.
on, I might stop on it and I get stuck into
Yeah.
it for 20 or 30
And
minutes.
Annette Bening is an amazing actress. Michael Douglas
Hmm.
in the right position is a wonderful actor. And the two of them on screen together, they have this great opposites attract chemistry because she's the polar opposite politically to him, and they have this great give and take. It's absolutely wonderful. Aaron Sorkin, you mentioned, nobody really talks like that, but
Right.
in a movie, it works so well the way that he makes people talk, and I
Or in a
absolutely love
TV
it.
show.
And
The
it
West
yeah,
Wing and
yes.
Studio 60 was
Oh, such an
amazing.
underrated show.
It
Love
was
that
a
sh
dramatic version of what 30 Rock was, but
Yeah,
still kind of cool at the same time. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
But
Um,
anyways, I'm a big fan of American
Such a good
President.
movie. The last movie that I wanna bring up was his next movie, his 10th movie. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's Ghosts of Mississippi from 1996 with Alec Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, James Woods. It
I
is
don't think
the
I've ever
real
seen it.
life. You haven't seen it?
I don't
Oh,
think
it's
so.
the
No,
real
it
life
doesn't.
story of the decades-long legal battle trying to convict, I don't remember the guy's name, but, convict the murderer of Medgar Evers. We all know who Medgar Evers is if you know anything about civil rights and history, but this is the real story of that, and it's tackling the racial injustice in our history, and
And the
all
legal
without
system
trying to
and
sugarcoat it, just
yeah.
laying it bare. Whoopi, in one of the last, like, meaty roles she did before she pivots to being, like, the host of The View or whatever, is really good, and Rob Reiner had this great ability to sensitively handle real world issues in a
Yeah.
beautiful way. It is not an easy watch, but it is a wonderful movie.
I don't and maybe because also I get you could say I'm slightly more aligned socially with him, but I never felt like any of the stuff he's doing felt preachy. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like the American president. They don't even call out what party he's with. Like the American president, they don't say what party. You assume, you infer
Sure,
what you think, but it doesn't
sure.
matter. Like I think there's something to that where you can give your viewpoint to somebody without making it feel like they're shoving it down your throat.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I
is
mean?
never heavy-handed, it is never over the top, and sure, is Rob Reiner a little bit meathead in real life? Well, yeah, probably. That I think he's playing himself very much in All in the Family. Uh,
So there are we don't need to talk about all the rest of them, but there are quite a few romantic comedies that I'm sure if we had Mel on here, she would know them and she would like them. I know she's
yeah,
seen some. She's talked about Rumor Has It, I think is one of
yeah,
his
which is
like
the unofficial
um
sequel to The Graduate, I think.
yeah. I did not
It
even know that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways, like I legitimately I think she really enjoys them. They're just not for
Sure,
me. So that's why I haven't seen
absolutely,
them or I don't know
absolutely.
enough about him. But I do know there's something he made. One of the very last things he did was the Albert Brooks documentary. And if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. He and Albert Brooks were absolute
You
best
mean
friends in
Albert
high
Einstein,
school.
right?
Albert Einstein. Um, and he made this really endearing documentary about him called Defending Your Life or Defending My Life, of
Yeah,
course, because Albert Brooks made the movie Defending Your
Defending
Life,
Your
and
Life,
this is
yeah.
Defending My Life. But anyways, it's absolutely worth watching. It's very good. There's some great clips of what I think is one of the funniest people uh that's ever been, you know, at
And
least in the last 50 years.
overlooked by the mass.
Called Rob Reiner called him the funniest man alive, the funniest person alive when he was 16. He said that the funniest person I've ever met, the funniest person alive, is a
Is this guy.
16-year-old kid who hangs out with my son. It's like Carl Reiner
Yeah,
said
Carl
on
Reiner.
Johnny Carson.
Yeah,
But anyways, that's in the doc too. But that one's fantastic. And then he did the Spinal Tap doc. Of course, we could have gone into
yeah,
producing. We could
yep,
have gone into, he didn't do a ton of writing, some writing stuff, but all the stuff that his fingers were in projects is endless. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And I didn't want to do that, but I did think it's worthy to touch back um, on Misery.
yeah. Real quick, before we go to Misery, I just wanna shout out the one single role as an actor when he in 2013, when he shows up in Scorsese's Wolf of Wall Street as
Yeah,
Max, Jordan Belfort, Leonardo DiCaprio's father. He's this loud scene chewer of a dad.
yeah,
I love that role. It's up there with his best stuff from Marty DeBurgi in Spinal Tap, Meathead, and All in the Family. He was not the biggest actor. He didn't act a lot, but when he did, like, he brought
dude.
it, and I
I
loved
think of
that.
his. I think of his stuff from Ed TV. Mostly
Yeah,
his scenes, him interacting with Ellen
mhm,
DeGeneres, but just his
yeah,
scenes in general. He's hilarious in it to me.
yep,
Uh,
yeah,
but anyways, he brought these little roles out. You didn't see The Bear, the TV show The Bear. He had a recurring role where he was just some low level. He came out of nowhere, and one of the guys at the restaurant wanted to figure out how to make the restaurant bigger and make more profit. And this is all later, and so he all of a sudden just sitting outside at a little coffee table with Rob Reiner, who's telling him like, well, what does your business do? Will you sell this? Well, you should do these. He's just telling like just advice on these things. And they brought that character back like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, 5 or 6 different
Yeah.
episodes. This
Yeah,
small little role that seems so not insignificant. I don't want to say
Yeah.
that, but just almost like,
right.
I can't imagine an actor of his stature saying,
Yeah.
I wanted that role.
Well,
know?
it's like Olivia Colman shows up for a small arc. Jamie
Yeah.
Lee Curtis shows up for
True.
The Bear had something. It's that show that everybody wanted to be a part of.
Wanted to be a part of. Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very true.
But you were going to bring up Misery.
I was going to go back to Misery, and it's because right before we started recording, we started talking about and again, this is a Stephen King brainchild, but still, this concept of keeping somebody captive but doing it with like kid gloves.
Yeah.
Like it's such a weird notion that you it's like trying to force Stockholm syndrome or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But anyways, it made me think of all these movies that I know where there are either people who are kidnapped or hostages that are taking, things like that. And I don't know, personally, I think that should be our discussion next week.
Yeah. I mean, just Schindler's List, right?
Just that there's 6 million of them at least. Actually, I think there's 32 million, but 6 million of them we haven't found. But anyway, it's a terrible joke. I shouldn't have said
That's a bad joke. I'm glad it's at the end of the episode. This is when everybody's tuned out already.
Cut that. Anyways, you know, there are a bunch of them. The Ref we talked about before, which is a fun little hostage movie. Big
House
Theory.
Arrest.
What's wrong with me? Dog Day Afternoon. I meant, but anyways,
all these. And you mentioned, didn't you mention
House Guest?
House
Arrest. House, not House Guest.
And House Guest. It feels like Steve Martin is being held hostage by Goldie Hawn.
Oh, that's true. I was thinking House Guest was. I was thinking House Guesses was Sinbad.
It's Sinbad and Phil Hartman.
And the great Phil Hartman. Fuck you, Andy Dick, pardon my language.
My friend.
I kind of wish you didn't tell me those things sometimes. That's why I don't pay attention to Scandal behind the scenes, because now I'll never be able to look at Andy Dick again. But anyways, I digress, as I like to say. But yeah, anyway. Next week, let's talk about movies about kidnapping and hostages. And hostages and things like that. And it's a pretty broad genre, but I think we can figure out how to refine it into something to be worth talking about.
And we'll do it the way we do it. We won't go into the big ones so much. We'll focus on the ones that we enjoy that are lesser seen, lesser known.
Like Shoot to Kill, I talked about recently with Sidney Poitier, Tom Berenger, and beautiful Kirstie Alley, and
Sidney,
a fantastic cast. That fits in this category. It's hostages taken in the movie. But anyways,
let's do that. So before we do that, let's do our little bit of business here. This has been another episode of Couch Critics. If you found any value in anything we've said today or ever, please make sure wherever you listen to this, please leave us that 5-star rating. Leave us a review. Tell us what you like. Tell us what we should do different, or tell us what kind of genre or category we should cover in a future episode. All of it fills us with warmth, because we need what, Dave?
Love, validation, and goddamn respect. I'm just kidding. I don't care.
You don't have to even respect on it, but just a little validation.
Just some validation.
Just a little validation. And also, for more daily content, silliness, check out all of our socials. We're on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok at Couch Critics RRT. We post content every single day, and we do our best to respond to everyone that interacts with us. We try very hard to be present. Sometimes it takes me a day or two because I'm human. I have a day job. But that being said, check us out. Send us an email, therealrealtalk@gmail.com. And until next time, Dave, how are we closing it up today?
Thank you all for being here. This is Couch Critics, or 2 critics, 1 couch, infinite opinions.
And not a single yum yucked in the process. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.